Thanksgiving will be here before we know it, and so the last video that I did, I put together a Thanksgiving tablescape, which was just very relaxing and calm and really muted colors and natural products, basically pumpkins and things. So what I wanted to do is add a dough bowl centerpiece over here on my hutch that goes with the centerpiece on the table so that everything matches together. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with this dough bowl. It's 27 inches from here to here. That's 27 inches. Now this is a very inexpensive dough bowl that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'll tell you it's wobbly. So I'm kind of having to be careful so that I don't, I got to get the weight proportion correctly on it. So there's just something to keep in mind when you're working with heavy objects in your dough bowls. We're going to start off with this huge pumpkin. It is big, and again, it's one of the pumpkins that my bestie grew in her garden, and so she gave me quite a few of them, and they're just beautiful. Now, because my dough bowl is kind of wobbly, I'm going to add in a couple pieces just to kind of wedge it underneath this particular pumpkin to kind of keep it in place. You probably would not have to do that, if you have a good solid dough bowl. So in our tablescape, we used my very favorite fall foliage, and we only used, I think, about 5 pieces off from the bush. This bush comes from Hobby Lobby. Now what I have here are one whole bush plus the extra pieces from my Thanksgiving tablescape. So I have quite a few here, and I did hold one of these pieces off to the side, and we're going to do something a little different with that shortly. So what I want to do here is I'm going to elongate my dough bowl and just kind of, make it pretty all the way around. I don't plan on using my green foam to keep my pieces in place. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I like to do that, but in this particular case, I'm not. So we're just going to kind of add these in here, just kind of laying them in here. And I want to have even ones on each side. These soft, muted colors are just so pretty. And when my son got home and saw the table, the Thanksgiving table that I did, I said, "What do you think about this for Thanksgiving?" And he was like, "Yes." So you're on the right track if your son, your 12-year-old son, likes what you're doing. So I was pretty excited about that. Now you have to be, I guess, a little creative to get them to stay in place if they don't want to. Okay, I just have a few left here. Of course, we want it to look nice in the back too. And let's see, where am I missing some? There we go. Now we have a very beautiful foundation in place. We're going to add in this beautiful white pumpkin. I just got this from a local farmer this morning, and they must have picked it not too long ago because the stem is still green. But we're going to kind of, oops, I just had one move. It's okay, we can move it back in place. I'm going to kind of put it up against the other one. There we go. And then I have another one of the pumpkins that came from my friend's patch, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to add in a couple of pumpkins. We need to kind of balance this side out because we have a bigger pumpkin here, so we need to kind of make sure that we have this balanced. We're going to add in a couple more pumpkins in the back because even though you don't see them, you know, if one of your guests comes up and looks at it, you don't want there to be holes in there. And because I have a lower spot in the back, I'm just going to use this green foam to raise up the pumpkin back there. So I'm just going to set that in there. And then I can set my pumpkin right on top of it. We're going to use another stem that I used that matched the stem that I used on the Thanksgiving table. And if you didn't see that one, I actually showed you what the stem looked like, and I just pull it apart. I'm using everything on the stem except for the pumpkin that came with it. So let's add this into our dough bowl. So it has 2 of these berries. Let's kind of add that in over here and over here. And then let's see what else it has 2 of. Oh, it's all falling on the floor. Okay, it's got 2 of these. So let's add this in here. And let's add another one in over here. Okay, I've got all these leaves together, and I'm just going to add these kind of around the base. It adds in another color with our beige fall foliage. So I'm just going to add these in around the base. Now what I have left of this pick are these 3 things. I have this little stick. So let's see if we can just add it in here. That's pretty. And then I have these 2, and let's see about adding them in. Let's see about adding them in here. Kind of have to play with it to see what you like, see what you think. See how you can get them to stay in place. Okay, and then I told you that I had 1 of these left, and let's do that. So if I had a table runner, I would have probably used that on here, but I do actually like kind of how simple it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 1 more of the fall foliage and just add it down below on the table. I have this pumpkin, this small pumpkin that I'm just going to lay in place. And then I have this pine cone, which was on this pick, and so I'm just going to put it down here. And I just think that's really cute. And that is how I've put this whole thing together. It is beautiful. It is going to match perfectly with the Thanksgiving table. So let's take a look at all of this together.